Hi. So today I'm going to talk about the demand and supply gap in the field of quant finance. I was talking to a former colleague of mine a couple of days back. He's a hiring manager and at a consulting firm, and his complaint is that I hire people, train them, invest time and effort in training them, but they leave after a couple of days for better opportunities. I find it very difficult to retain people, and it has become a bit of a frustration for him. And he said this is not the only one. Many other hiring managers also complain about the same. So there is demand for quant professionals in Europe. I was thinking, what is the situation in India? I went through the LinkedIn page, just did a search about quant finance jobs in India. If you do a search just quant finance, you won't find many, because if it is credit risk modeling, the title would be credit risk modeling. If it is market risk modeling, your title will be market risk modeling. So you have to use different search terms to find the vacancies. I did that on LinkedIn India, and I found out many vacancies, actually, especially senior level vacancies. Some of these vacancies are with companies which I didn't know that they're present in India. I saw some Middle Eastern banks, Abu Dhabi International Bank, something like that. I found Society General. I found many Australian banks, smaller US banks. I thought only the big ones are there in India, but even the smaller ones, they're hiring in India. Many of them are, at senior level position, senior manager and above, director, executive director at that level. London Stock Exchange, LSEG, that I didn't know that it has also offices in India. They're also hiring there. Consulting firms, it goes without saying, they always hire, and I saw many vacancy. So I was thinking whether India has the talent pool to cater to these senior level positions in these corporations, right? And who are the ones actually who are applying for these jobs, right? Many quants I know, when I was there in India, have left India. Many have moved to Europe, many have moved to Singapore, Hong Kong, Canada, some to US, but many to Middle East. So the talent pool is very limited. And 10, 12 years back, there were it's only a handful of IITs supplying quant talent to India, quant talent to different firms, and ISI, Delhi School of Economics, Madras School of Economics, some economics and statistics schools, IITs, and not other schools and universities in India. So I was thinking as to whether there is a supply gap here, right? There is definitely a demand for quant professionals, but whether there is enough supply, right? At a senior level, it's definitely there is a big supply gap. At a fresher level, things may be different, and it's difficult to assess at a fresher level because we do not know how many are aspiring to be working in this field. Many students don't even have knowledge about this field. Many people have no idea about it. There are simply no quant finance programs in India. How many universities in India provide master's degree in quant finance, let alone quant finance, any finance, right? You have MBA finance degree, but they don't teach quant finance in MBA finance, not even in IIMs. I have spoken to people who have done MBA from IIMs or management schools in IIT. Uh, you know, they hardly learn anything about quant finance, except maybe a bit about econometrics, financial econometrics. They don't learn much, and hence you don't see MBA finance guys working in quant finance. It's the same story with chartered accountants. You will find chartered accountants working everywhere in finance except in quant finance, simply because they have no idea about it. Some actuaries do work, but then there are not many actuaries, right? Only a handful of actuaries, and they make a lot of money in their own field. So why would they work in quant finance, right? Although there are some, and many students from engineering and science, they have no awareness of it. So it's simply that there is a supply gap for senior positions. Many who used to work along with me long back, decade back, have left India and they're working elsewhere. Many have moved to other fields. Some have gone on to become entrepreneurs in the tech world. So, so if there are vacancies at VP level, executive director level, or senior manager level, it's difficult for them to fill in the vacancies. So the point I'm trying to prove is that it's true not just in India, but it's also true elsewhere. Okay, one other reason why there is a supply gap in this field is also because the popularity of data science, right? Because of the popularity of data science, now quant professionals or anybody who is interested in quant finance, who is good in mathematics or programming, and who is willing to work in the industry and not in academia, has many options, right? 20, 30 years back, if you are a PhD physicist, you are a PhD physics, or you are an economist, you had only opportunity to work in the field of finance or insurance. No other industry was hiring, mathematician, physicist, economist, econometrician, statistician. Maybe the clinical trial research industry, the pharma industry was hiring statistician for clinical trial, but not many other industries were hiring. But that has changed completely after the popularity of AI and data science. I know one of my senior, actually, who used to work in the quant industry for quite some time, I think 6 7 years, and then he moved to AI development. He's working for a tech firm now. He's not no longer interested in quant finance, right? It has happened to quite a few of my friends. A good friend of mine who was also interested in CFA and did write a few papers of CFA. He got bored with finance, and he moved to a tech company, to a startup. Later on, he worked for a retail startup company, and currently working in more analytics strategy type of role for a large corporation, right? And because so many people move to other fields, there is a supply gap in this field. uh, right? Another reason why there is a supply gap, and let me be very honest with you, so quant finance can also be a bit boring sometimes because of the regulations, and a lot of people don't like regulations or to work under regulation. Regulatory work can be a bit challenging, can be a bit boring at times, and that has also contributed to the supply gap, that people working after working for many years under regulation, they simply want to get out of it. That has also happened, and yeah, that's the reason why you also see a supply gap. Other than that, I also feel that it is one area which is interdisciplinary, more interdisciplinary than data science in other industries. I'll tell you why. In other areas of in data science, right, you just need to know coding and mathematical modeling, some mathematical modeling. Whereas in the field of quant finance, you need to know coding, that's one, but you also need to know mathematical modeling at different level, right? Not just machine learning, AI, but also core mathematical modeling, stochastic calculus and so on, simulations as well. You barely do simulation in other areas, other fields. You could be doing Markov chain modeling. You could be doing more econometric type modeling, right? You don't do much of that in, let's say, in e-commerce or in healthcare, in other fields. So that, so it's quite interdisciplinary. And beside that, you also have to be good in writing, right? You should be able to write well. Now, it's very difficult to find people who are good in all three: writing code, writing documents, and also good in mathematics, and also have interest in finance and products and so on. It's not easy to find people who have skills in all these 3 4 areas. Because it's highly interdisciplinary, it is also very difficult to find people who will suit this profile, right? So to conclude, let me tell you that there is demand supply gap in this field, for a variety of reasons. It's not new. When I started, also it was the same story. There was a demand supply gap. That's also the reason why the salaries were quite high when I started. And when there were examples of people moving from one job to the other with like 70-80%, in some cases even 100% range. You don't see that much in many fields, but that has happened in the past. I'm not sure if that is happening now. Yeah, so that's one reason. And the other reason why there is a demand supply gap is also because, especially in the country like India, where the work in outsourcing has increased quite dramatically in the last 6-7 years. But after COVID, there is a steep increase in the amount of work that is coming to India in all areas, certainly in the field of quant finance. I didn't know that many of these companies, for example, the one that I mentioned, from Middle East or in the US or Australian banks, I thought they were not in India, but I find that they are in India and they're hiring in India. So that has also contributed to the increase in demand, and the supply has remained more or less stagnant. I would rather say that supply has gone down because, if you see the statistics, MSc graduates from IITs, most of them used to work in the field of finance 20 years back. I mean, the ones who chose to work in industry, most of them would work in the field of banking, finance, insurance, or consulting work doing for finance companies. That has changed now. Now you see statistic postgraduates working in Amazon or Google or Microsoft or Walmart and so on and so forth. Now who will fill in the gap, right? That has become an issue. And many statistics economics graduates from state university, they have no clue about this field. They have no idea. They're still looking for just government jobs, or jobs in academia and so on, right? So one group of people who have filled in the gap are the ones who are from non-CS background engineering graduates, especially from the more elite institutions in India, IITs and NITs, and some private universities such as VIT and BITS Pilani and so on. But yeah, that's also changing a lot because those guys also have many options to explore. So not everyone is interested. So the point I'm trying to make here is that this is one area where there is a gap, demand supply gap. But I'm not 100% sure if that is also true at the level of at the freshers level, but certainly at executive level or more senior positions level, there is a huge scarcity of talent. I have heard it from people for many years, and I keep hearing that again. And when I saw the number of positions on LinkedIn, I was more convinced that this is indeed true. Right, because it's not easy to fill in a vacancy at that level. For example, somebody heading stress testing for the entire APAC, Asia Pacific region for a global bank, right? It's not easy to find someone in India to fill in that vacancy, right? There's simply not many people having that sort of an experience, and they can't simply hire and train someone. Like, that's not possible. All right, so just wanted to share my views on this. Any questions, let me know on the comment section. Thanks as always for listening. I'll keep making videos if you guys like it, and if you have questions, as always, I encourage you to reach out to me. You have my contact details. Either I will directly talk to you or make videos on those topics. Thanks, guys. Thank you.